What's up, everybody, and welcome to my TNA Impact Wrestling review. And pretty much this week, pretty much after the aftermath of Jeff Hardy getting hurt and injured by Eric Young and Bram, as he was supposed to go against Matt Hardy for the World Heavyweight Championship, pretty much Matt, Reby, and Tyrus came out, minus the baby, came to the ring as Matt said that, he didn't want to hurt the PP Love, but Jeff brought it on himself, and that Jeff Hardy was guilty, saying he could, try to trash me and tarnishing the TNA title by him taking it away from him. He said he called Jeff Pegleg then because he's hurt and doesn't know when he'll be back. As Reby pretty much then took on the mic and said, like, Jeff, you could have had all this, but you brought this on yourself. You could have joined something great and you could have won fair and square, but it was you that got yourself hurt. And Matt said it's nothing personal, but it's just great business, he says, for the Matt Hardy brand. As Bram and Eric Young came out and said, like, I am the one that took out Jeff Hardy. Bobby Roode took my title away from me, so I took his title away from him. And that I took Jeff Hardy's career. And he says, Matt, you're doing a good, fine job as the world champion, but whoever gets a title shot, they gotta go through me first. And Matt's all like, you're smarter than that to threaten me. Kurt Angle then came out to the ring, talking about what he did to Jeff Hardy last week was sick, and he wanted to get payback on him. And he says, why don't you go against me for the TNA title tonight, since an official told him, since it's part of Kurt Angle's farewell tour, he wanted a shot at the World Heavyweight title tonight. Pretty much, Matt looked at Kurt Angle and says, like, there you go, politicking your way to just get a title shot. He says, pushing buttons, doing all that, but Angle says, like, he pretty much called him a coward, and he says, I can kick all your asses if I wanted to, but I'm not going to go against 5 men. Pretty much, Kurt Angle turned around, pretty much had some backup. Beer Money came out then with him. As they got into the ring and started fighting all of them, Crazy Steve and Abyss came out to attack, but the Wolves followed straight right after, pretty much clearing the ring. And pretty much Rude got on the mic talking about Eric Young and all. He said, you 4 want to fight, then it will be a hardcore war. Beer Money and the Wolves versus Crazy Steve, Abyss, or I should say the Decay, and Eric Young and Bram. So that was going to go down tonight. It was pretty much a good opening segment. They talked about the Feast of Fire cases. Drew Galloway talked about he has a World Heavyweight title shot now, so he can do anything he wants with it. But pretty much Tyrus said, like, you might as well put it down and remember what you've done if you want to walk away. But he said, why don't we settle this in the ring tonight? Bobby Lashley then went against Aiden O'Shea. Pretty much a quick match. Bobby went in with the spear. As this new girl, I guess, debuted, her name is Raquel. Some new woman. She says, Lashley's pain will be her pleasure, and I can bring you pain and pleasure. Something as Lashley pretty much looked puzzled as, I guess she walked away. Then Raquel, whoever this woman is, we'll have to find out more later in time. I don't know what she's going to do with Bobby Lashley, but I guess that was the focus, and we'll see. I don't know a lot about her, or what, very mysterious, but we'll see where it goes down. They were going to do an interview with EC3 tonight, since he's lost the World Heavyweight title. Maria headed to the ring, talking about that the Knockouts need a leader, a miracle for professional wrestling, and that she should be the leader then. It's out with the old and with the new, but Gail Kim says, like, the Knockouts are doing fine. What have you done, Maria? We've been up and down the road a couple of times. But she says, you're a great wrestler, but you're not as smart as a businesswoman, she told Gail Kim. I can make you mainstream. Pretty much Gail says, I don't need you to help me. The Knockouts are already powerful, strong women. I'm going to get to the Knockouts at the end of this review, by the way. But pretty much, why don't you put the boots on and prove yourself? He says, why don't we go right now? But pretty much Maria got out of the ring once Gail kept getting in her face. So everything Maria's saying is true. Since the Knockouts have been up and down lately. They're not as bad as what the WWE Divas when it comes to booking, but the Knockouts have their ups and downs. I've always said I like the Knockouts better than the Divas, because the Divas has been so much trash so many times. And, I've trashed on the Divas a lot, as much as everybody else, especially with that stupid Nikki Bella title reign. And the stuff they're doing even right now, even though she's injured. Even Charlotte, I think. It's been a lot of just horrible booking problems with the WWE Divas. But the knockouts, I've given them a little bit more respect because they actually put on better matches. But, well, we're not going to diss on the NXT women, but the WWE Divas main roster ones suck, and the people they bring up from NXT is not the same. Are not the same once they move up to the main roster. It's like you'd rather keep Sasha Banks on NXT than you would put her on the main roster, or Becky Lynch, or Charlotte, or even Paige, because their entire repertoire changes. And then, like, people just come annoyed, they don't give a fuck. But they give a fuck about Sasha, though. But, pretty much the Wolves, talking to Beer Money, said, at some point we're going to get our title shot, he says, but it's going to take care of business tonight. Pretty much then, in the Hardcore War, I guess Davey Richards and Crazy Steve were out there. They brought out weapons to reach, I guess, a time limit for each of them to come out. Pretty much everybody came out one by one, from Eric Young to Abyss, Eddie Edwards, Storm, which I thought the spot was cool with him when he hit Bram in the nuts with the trash can with a chair. The fans saw it in like a golf club type of thing. And then pretty much Bobby Roode was the last one to come out with a hockey stick, beating him there, because he's Canadian and stuff. And then they pretty much did this big suplex spot where all four of them hit suplex on three of the guys. The Abyss was already down, but pretty much when they did that, the Wolves and Beer Money did the Beer Money chant after that. But pretty much from there on, Beer Money and Bram and Eric Young followed each other to the back, but the Decay was able to take out David Richards. David Richards said, "This is for taking our title belts." But he was gonna end with it, but Steve pretty much spit in the face. Abyss hit him with the bell, and it was over, and the Decay and Bram and Eric Young got the win over them. Galloway talked to Eric Young how he talked about it would be a dream match to face you for the world title on your farewell tour. He's already faced them. He talked about a dream match, and pretty much Kurt Angle said, "You're the future of TNA and stuff." He said, one day, we can tear the house one more time. We have title shots, but we get it. You respect Angle like 100 and something times now. We get it. You want a dream match with him. You want a dream match with a world title. And I'm sure that'll be a great match, but this later in time, all right? Galloway then went against Tyrus. None of them got an entrance. Tyrus Galloway's about to hit the win with the Claymore, but the lights went out as Maria showed at the end. Maria showed up at the entrance. After that, Mike Bennett attacked them. Pretty much was a no contest. He beat up Drew Galloway, stomping his head into the Feast of Fire case. And says that we all need a miracle. And it's a miracle that you're going to make, because you won't win the world title, he says. But Drew Galloway versus Mike Bennett, that sounds like a good feud. I'll give it that. I think it could be a good match depending on how it goes and doesn't look stupid. But I think there could be a great feud if they do something like that. Kurt Angle was talking about, what he's done in TNA until Bobby Lashley interrupted. And he says, hey, he said, if you win that title tonight, we're going to England next week. I can face you again for the world title, except this time I'll beat you in the same place it took last year. Tigre Uno came out who was supposed to be going against Gregory Shane Helms for the X Division title, but Helms came out in his street clothes talking about, says, "Oh no, I'm not going to be facing. You ain't ready for that," because he's one of the greatest cruiserweight champions of all time. He says, "But you will be facing somebody I have mentored and trained for years, Trevor Lee," which they put on a good match, and Trevor Lee beat Tigre Uno for the X Division title. And it was a really good match, and I like Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee has a very weird type of style from him. I thought he was 30, but when he won the title, he's 22 years old, two titles already on my belt, he says. So, it could be a good heel team, Helms and Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee is crazy in the ring. I don't watch Global Force, but after when I saw that whole Global Force invading TNA thing, I was like, hey, this kid's got it right. This dude was doing some crazy high-flying stuff, and especially that fisherman suplex and even that stomp. So I'm kind of a bit of a fan of Trevor Lee in the ring. EC3 delivered a promo talking about nothing bad happens until you expect it to be gone. As he talked about, he was on top. Yeah, he was the rich guy, party all the time. But he's been thinking over the past 2 weeks, ever since he's lost the world title, EC3 said. And he said, I was a piece of shit, pretty much, he admitted. But now, he's going to get revenge. And I was unbeatable. I was never pinned. I was never submitted until then. And, he said he tried to bottle all his emotions into one, but it's you know, he rather did everything and sell to the black market, El Chapo style on a roll. But you congratulate Matt for winning the title, even though it took his former bodyguard Tyrus, his son, his wife, ladders, chairs. But this is the thing, EC3 will not go down. Everything he threw at him, he kept getting up, and he kept getting up. EC3 question, what's next for him? He says he's not going to be taking time off or selling around the world. He said you face the son of a bitch and put your head back on. And he says, I'm not going to be taking a boat, but I'm going to be taking a plane to the UK. And he said he's going to bring vengeance upon him, and pretty much did the Matt Hardy sign like this then. I guess getting payback. So, you know, EC3 is now face, and it was a good promo from him. I'll give him that for a face promo. It's hard to work when you're an arrogant, heel, rich person, but people love EC3, and could a face turn work for him? It was a good face promo. Let's see what it can do for him then when he gets his rematch. But in the main event, Matt Hardy went against Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty much, other than Ruby Sky and Tyrus get involved, pretty much the match ended with a twist of fate off the top rope on Kurt Angle. And it was a really great match to finish the main event, I'll say that. Even though I thought the match would have ended once Matt Hardy pulled the ref's shirt over his head and kicked Kurt Angle in the nuts or his leg or something like that. So that's why. But pretty much next week they're going to be going to the UK. And the UK shows are always enjoyable when TNA goes over there. I always like the UK shows. That's pretty much their top draw over there because the fans really do care about them. But I like to address a situation. We all know these are taped and everything. I'm sure there'll be great shows. But I like to address a situation about the whole Awesome Kong and Ruby Hardy thing. And you know what, I've already heard now that Awesome Kong has been released from TNA after an altercation with both. Kong allegedly threw her clothes out in the dressing room. Then that, because I think Ruby tried to dress with the other wrestlers, but she tried to choke her until somebody broke it up. And like, can you really blame Awesome Kong for what she did? Like, at the end of the day, Ruby Sky has a lot of heat in the wrestling business, talking about people who don't show up. As I remember, she talked about Sid. Sid's known for no showing, but this thing, you didn't put in the dudes like Sid did. Okay, you didn't put in the work. You didn't wrestle for years. Sid's a former world heavyweight champion. You're just with Matt Hardy, so you think you're entitled to talk whatever you want. And I guess Kong did something a few years ago, and the whole bag of everything. And I think TNA made a horrible choice of releasing Awesome Kong. And I liked when Awesome Kong came back to TNA. I'm like, I didn't think she would be back, but she was back. Even this old doghouse thing, because you never really hear Awesome Kong talk a lot. They actually have a personality. Most time, Kong is an unstoppable, destructive force that destroys everything. And yes, the WWE didn't go well about 5-6 years ago. But that was cool when she came back to Impact. And it sucks that she has to leave because of this stupid reason. I can't blame Awesome Kong for what she did. And Awesome Kong has had trouble with this before in TNA of fighting people in the back. Especially that fat prick Bubba the Love Sponge when Hogan and them came in because he was making fun of Haiti. And I guess she had family over there and she beat the crap out of him. Look at the pictures, people. That dude was bleeding from his nose and having 2 black eyes. You can't blame Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong kicked his ass. And he would have kicked Ruby Sky's ass. Everybody knows Kong don't take shit from nobody. I guess I've learned now. You don't fuck with Awesome Kong, or she will kick your ass. But she had every right to throw it. Cause like Ruby Sky is not wrestling, so I can't really blame Awesome Kong for what she did. And I think TNA, management was stupid. Why is Ruby Sky still there? I believe still doing the show. But we're gonna fire Kong though, who's actually a wrestler, who's actually, I would say, a draw. Been in TNA longer than she has. A former Knockouts champion, great wrestler. That's stupid. And I know TNA has made stupid choices before. And sometimes I defend them on, and sometimes I'm against them. But this was a retarded choice. And pretty much Awesome Kong went to her Twitter and, addressed it, saying she's been released, held up high. And TNA made a horrible mistake releasing Awesome Kong. If you ask me, just punish both of them and get over with. Not send Awesome Kong home because of an incident or anything. Just separate and make sure Ruby Sky doesn't go in the wrestling. Awesome Kong protecting the wrestler. She respects the business. Can't go against Awesome Kong. Can't really go against her for that. But some people think she's going to be going to WWE, be Karma again, because we know she didn't really do nothing in WWE because she got pregnant. And I just remember her showing in the Royal Rumble in 2012. And that was it, karma or whatever. And Decay said she go back and fight the Bellas, go to NXT like everybody else. But I don't know what's next for Awesome Kong. If she even, well, she's been released by TNA now, but I think maybe if they got rid of Ruby Sky, maybe she would come back. I enjoyed Awesome Kong when she came back from TNA because hey, you put against Gail Kim again. They always put on some great matches, and it's always a great match for both of those two. Like, that's one of their biggest rivalries in that company was Awesome Kong versus Gail Kim. And I thought it would have been cool how this whole dollhouse thing was going to work with her leading it, but I guess plans might have to change since she left, you know, being released from the company, and that kind of sucks. And you keep Ruby Sky, because what, she's married to Matt Hardy, that's it. And Ruby Sky's an idiot, but I'm going to finish this little rant. I just kind of wanted to address that whole situation after this TNA Impact Wrestling review. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Watch the Super Bowl Sunday.